Hey there, welcome back to The Daily. This is Adriana. Really great to be back here with you today as we start to wind things up or wind things down with our theme of the month this month, which is trust, faith, confidence. So for today's practice, I want to get a little bit traditional with you for just a few moments to set the context of our practice. I know that for some of us, we love the traditional side of things when it comes to meditation. For some of us, the traditional side is not our jam. That's fine, wherever you fall on the spectrum. But of course, as I'm thinking about my own understanding and my own practice of trust, faith, confidence when it comes to meditation, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that my perspective is informed by my Buddhist background. That's where I learned how to meditate. It's how I learned how to meditate. It's the teachings that give context to my own practice. So as I was thinking about this, I was thinking about how when I first became kind of a card-carrying Buddhist after many years of study and practice, the first thing that you do is take your refuge vows. And what the refuge vows are is basically saying, okay, at this point in my life, I have taken refuge in a lot of different things. I've taken refuge in food. I've taken refuge in shopping. I've taken refuge in work and my job. I've taken refuge in, a number of different things. And none of those things actually bring sustainable happiness. They definitely bring momentary pleasure, 100%, and that is to be celebrated. But none of these places are a place that I want to build a home because they don't lead to sustainable happiness. And so in taking your refuge vows, what you're basically saying is that I trust or I have faith, I have confidence that building a home in this practice, is a path to sustainable happiness. That we take refuge in the teachers, all of the teachers, which serve as avatars of using this practice or working with this practice to kind of like wake up to reality as it is. We take refuge in the teachings themselves as sort of a path or guidance along the way. And we take refuge in our community of fellow practitioners as people who will hold us accountable and support us and like call us on our blind spots along the way. So there's this sense of placing our trust in the practice itself, in the people who hold us accountable, in the teachers that help us along the way, with the recognition that we don't do it on our own. And that's the piece that I wanted to come to, is that what we're essentially investing our confidence in is the understanding that even though this might be a path to personal liberation, we don't do it on our own. There's absolutely no way. There's this sense of trust in the interdependence of things, that even if we look at our bowl of cereal in the morning, there is interdependence staring right back at us, right? How did that milk get there? We didn't do it on our own. It didn't just fall from the sky and land in the grocery store. There are hundreds of people in this interdependent system that we live in that are responsible for our morning milk. Same with our cereal, who picked the grains, who processed the grains, who turned it into cereal, who shipped it, who boxed it. Hundreds of people that are probably responsible just for our morning breakfast. So we're placing trust in the fact that the world is an interdependent place and we don't do anything on our own. That it's all interwoven in this tapestry. So I wanted to use that as just kind of a guidepost for our practice today. which is a little bit more of a gratitude practice, really looking at our own cosmology of the people who have helped us along the way, the people who have trusted us, maybe that we have trusted in return, that have helped us to develop into the people that we are, and get to wherever we are in this world. That, there's some trust that we don't do it alone. We never have. It's always been an interdependent, interwoven system. So with that said, taking a moment here just to decide on our seat, wherever we happen to be. And as always, just making sure that our seat feels really sturdy and sustainable. Our body's on board here. And once we've found our seat, deciding on our gaze, so eyes open or eyes closed, your call. And we'll take just a few moments to open up our practice by opening up our senses. It's locating ourselves here in space, and shifting the attention over to sound. Just receiving the sound of the room that we're in. Taking in the tonal quality, welcoming whatever noises are present. And staying open to sound, shifting over to touch. So taking a moment just to drop into our bodies here. And feeling the weight of the body against the chair, the cushion, texture of clothing on our skin. Temperature of the air in the room. So just switching gears a bit, becoming a bit more open, receptive to what already is. Body here in space, the direct experience of that. Dropping into the feet, feeling our feet here. Texture, temperature, feeling where the feet make contact. Tracing the attention across the shin bones. Circling the kneecaps, grazing through the thighs. Landing in the hips. Moving the attention to the belly and the chest. Just taking a few moments here in the belly, the chest, barrel of the front body. Maybe just giving ourselves a brief temperature check here. Noticing if there's anything active, alive, residual that lives in this space in the body. Anything that we're bringing into practice. Just getting an honest read. Continuing to rest here in the front body, belly, chest. Just establishing contact with the body, breathing. Tip of the nose, back of the throat, belly. And wherever, however the breath is most available in the body, most easily felt today. It's dropping our anchor of attention here, home base, the place that we return to. And we'll take just a few minutes together to give our minds a chance to stabilize, our bodies a chance to settle, by working with that singular instruction that as our minds wander, which they naturally will, just noticing when we've left our breathing, acknowledging what captures our attention, and then gently, firmly coming back to the breath in the body. So again, if we find ourselves drifting out or lost in thought, no big deal. That's what the mind does. Just acknowledging where we've landed, light touch of recognition, and feeling the body breathe. And then if we haven't already, maybe just letting our eyes gently shut and taking a moment right off the bat here to bring to mind somebody in our world whom has helped us in our life in some way get to where we are right now. Somebody who is responsible for our success or survival up to this point. Could be a parent or a mentor of some sort. Once we have landed on someone, without overthinking, just inviting them to sit down in front of us. Taking a moment to notice any distinguishing features, the way that they hold their body. And just holding them in our mind, extending out these phrases. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as we extend these phrases of gratitude, just watching them receive our thanks, watching them soak it in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then whomever this person is, just extending one last thanks to them for helping us get this far. Just allowing their image to dissolve. And this time, bringing to mind a teacher of some sort. It could be a particularly memorable grade school teacher, maybe a college professor, a yoga teacher, somebody who has helped us to learn a new skill, has enriched our understanding in some way. And again, without overthinking it, whomever comes to mind as we consider teacher, just inviting them to sit down in front of us, watching them take their seat, noticing any distinguishing features, the way that they hold their body. And again, once they're seated in front of us, just extending out these phrases. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as we extend out these phrases of gratitude, it's watching this teacher of ours soak it in, receive our thanks. And extending this teacher figure of ours one last thanks for coming. And allowing their image to dissolve. And this time bringing to mind somebody in our world whom has taught us a difficult but necessary lesson. Somebody who has taught us a difficult but necessary lesson. It could be somebody who broke our heart or disappointed us in some way. Maybe somebody whom we had a hard time with, but it spawned a growth spurt for us or a new understanding in some way. And again, without overthinking it, once we've located somebody whom has taught us a perhaps uncomfortable but necessary lesson, I'm just inviting them to sit down in front of us, noticing any distinguishing features, the way that they hold their body. And again, extending out these phrases. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And watching them soak it in. These phrases of gratitude, this sense of appreciation. And again, thanking them for coming, allowing their image to dissolve. And this time, It's bringing to mind somebody whom has been helpful to us in some way, shape, or form over the past few weeks. Maybe somebody who's easy to take for granted or to overlook. It could be a loved one, our grocery store clerk, somebody who's been helpful to us in the recent weeks. And again, without overthinking it, once we've located them, just inviting them to sit down in front of us, noticing any features, the way that they hold their body, and again, extending out these phrases of appreciation, of gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And watching them soak it in. Thanking them for coming, allowing their image to dissolve. And this time, bringing our attention back to the breath in the body. Taking just a few moments here to feel the body breathe. And in closing here, it's taking a moment to acknowledge our own efforts. Maybe just recognizing that we took the time, we made the space, we showed up for ourselves today in practice. And closing out with a few phrases of appreciation directed towards ourselves. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as you're ready, just allowing formal practice to drop and coming back in together at your own pace, no rush. Great. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, yeah, thank you for practice. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for continuing to show up. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and we will see you back here on the cushion tomorrow.